tuning in right now actually did win it. So we'll be announcing the winner of that here shortly. But also,
really exciting.
Even if you didn't win, I know especially for the European crowd, a lot of you figured out for this contest happened to only be North America, unfortunately. In fact, I think it's only U.S. There will be another chance for you guys to get to earn a trip to the grand finals through the Refer a Friend program, which we will have more information on this coming week here. But
yeah.
So there is still actually going to be another chance. But
still so exciting that someone's going to be able to go out to the HoN Tour finals.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, join us as well as his teams, of course. And
yeah.
Oh, it's Las Vegas. Who cares? Even obviously the HoN event, we are going to have a lot of fun with that. But you're in Las Vegas, man.
Have some fun.
What happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. There you go. Anyways, it looks like game number 1. Again, it's kind of weird. It's a 1-0 series lead for tdM in a best of 5, but technically it is game number 1 here. So. It has started. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is time. Trout, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready, too. Hopefully you guys are ready because we are jumping in. Game number 1, Trademark Esports taking on Stay Green. Cycle number 4, Grand Finals. Let's take a look. Here we go. Stay Green is going to be on the Legion side and Trademark on the Hellborn side, of course. To get things kicked off here, as we talked about, Skyzo not tagged up or anything, but again, he didn't even know he was going to be playing today. Insania was playing for Stay Green as he was this whole cycle. Having those internet issues earlier today against Lions, Skyzo steps in and has done a fantastic job. So this is again a great matchup we have here. Can't wait for it to get started. Blind Band Zephyr Draconis coming out here from Stay Green, whereas Parasite Fade is taken care of from tdM. But that means not only is Keeper Force locked up, but Wild Soul Tempest in response. So interesting here.
Yeah, I actually thought for sure right there that Stay Green would lock up Ophelia as well. So this is going to be one of those situations where it's like we get 2, then you get 2.
Yeah.
Before that point, it was, well, SG can get their hands on Wild Soul if they want. Well, then you're giving Keeper Tempest to tdM. Or if they picked up Keeper first, it'd be, well, we get Wild Soul Tempest on tdM. But now it's, you get Keeper, we get Ophelia plus Wild Soul. Well, then you get Keeper plus Tempest. So now you're in this situation where both teams get 2 very, very strong jungler and or Suicide Heroes. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty even right now.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. That has to be one of the stronger lock pools we've ever seen. Those 4 heroes alone. Then you throw a Wretched Hag and a Plague Rider on there, because why the hell not? You know, Plague Rider is actually another one of these heroes. If it seems like to me, I don't know if it feels the same for you, but Plague Rider, we haven't seen him lately. I know he's probably just because he's been banned a lot for sure, but he hasn't made an appearance recently, from what I can recall at least. So, a kind of interesting note there. But
now another interesting. I gotta say this before I forget, but the last 2 locks, because of how they formed up before that point with the Keeper, Wild Soul, Tempest, and Ophelia, the last 2 blocks are basically extra bans. Because you can safely assume that those first 4 locks will get picked. Now, it'd be a smart decision to use these last 2 locks as potential heroes that the other team might take in the regular picking phase, like Plague and Hag. So those are essentially basically banned heroes, if you really think about it.
Yeah, no, I definitely see where you're coming from. That's really, really interesting point to bring up. So, yeah, Glacius is going to be actually Tundra was the first ban when Tundra Pebbles into Glacius Moon Queen here. So those are the 4 bans so far. Of course, 2 more to go, 1 more for either side. And then we enter into the first pick, of course, which will go in favor of Stay Green. But yeah, very interesting point that the Wretched Hag and Plague Rider, in a sense, can be valued as a ban. So Engineer is going to be the actual ban here for Stay Green, and then there's the Aluna. Wow, Glacius, Engineer, and Aluna all banned up here in the banning phase. So what supports are we going to see?
I was going to say Empath, and right as I said that, Minus is actually right-clicking that. So you're going to have to spot out the potential supports that you think are going to be strongest in this game. Empath is definitely one of them. Torture can be valued as a very strong support as well. Also, Andromeda is a support that we see all the time. Specifically, I think if you're Stay Green, because I can safely assume if you pick up either Wild Soul or Keeper, I'm assuming one of those will get first picked.
Yeah.
That Andromeda is going to be a great tool specifically against the Tempest pickup, which could be very well picked up by Trademark Esports. So you got to have that in the back of mind as well. And then also Nymphora, you did mention that we don't see her too much, but still, like she kind of is a little bit weak in the laning phase, I might have to say. But if you get out of that laning phase successfully and you get some good levels up onto her, she's so effective. One of the most effective supports in the late game with that teleport ability.
If anything, she just becomes one of the most annoying heroes to play against, simply for the fact you're always guessing, is she here, is she there?
Yeah.
Are they going to gank us any second? And it is very... Well, there you go.
There you go.
Melons, here's us talking about it. Going to go in for a Silhouette Empath. Very quick response from Trademark. So it's almost as if Minos didn't even care what he was going to pick up first. Alyssa happened to be one of those two, of course, but they go Silhouette Empath as their quick response here from Trademark. So now back over to Stay Green. You got to think very likely a carry option themselves here now, but with Silhouette gone, of course, those bans out there. As it seems like we see a lot lately, but you still got Dark Liddy, Forsaken. Mage Bane is worth mentioning now, especially. Hell, there is Swiftblade, too. Slick's proved he knows what he's doing with Swiftblade.
Well, basically, both teams have their Suicide and their jungle set up for them. Like, they don't have to worry about that or think about that. So now tdM has their short lane set up, and I think, honestly, this might be a situation where we might see a dual or a solo mid versus a solo mid. Nymph4 lane's kind of weak, to be honest. So does Empath in the mid lane. And I think both of those heroes are going to be supporting the other short lane carry in the short lane. And the reason that I think maybe Stay Green has a little bit stronger is I'm presuming that they're going to take the Keeper first, or the Wild Soul. Actually, you know what? They're both going to be very hard to deal with because if you get Wild Soul, he's a very strong Suicide laner. Well, so is Keeper the Forest. Succubus actually picked up here, so that it could be a solo mid versus solo mid here.
There was a scrim very recently. I could swear I remember Swinomelons actually playing Succubus. Jeraziah is going to be the final pickup coming here from Trademark, so both teams finishing kind of interesting there. But definitely more so on Stay Green side of it. Succubus, we never see her, man. The rare times we do, you always bring up the point. She is a very good 1 versus 1 hero, and you could even argue up there with the best in the game. Keeper of the Force is going to be that first lock pick, so you're kind of questioning that a little bit, but it is going to be Keeper. Now back to tdM. Wild Soul Tempest. You got to think Ophelia here as the pickup now to finish things off, but so interesting. And there you go. There's the Ophelia. So it finished off pretty quickly there in the lock pool. But
so basically, yeah, I was right in the sense that Wretched Hag and Plague, those are essentially heroes that were banned, so to speak. Keeper Wild Soul, we saw actually SG run this earlier today, and it was just the pushing power is so strong. And then you also have a very strong lineup on tdM, like Wild Soul and Jeraziah, who's probably going to be in that solo mid route. They have very strong team fight as well. Both teams have very, very strong and well-crafted lineups.
Yeah, of course, as you would expect here, this being the grand finals after all. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Again, what is game number 1? tdM sure they're up 1-0 coming from the winner's bracket. But if anything, Stay Green, they're trying to win this first game to make it an even 0-0 and make it, in a sense, just a best of 3 as a result of that. So I'm going to have a pause to start things off here. But yeah, Swinomelons is going to be playing the Succubus. Expect a pseudo trial lane here from SG. Definitely, Z-Freak is heading towards the top lane. He actually does have boots picked up himself. It looks like Nymph4 and Hammerstorm very possibly going to head up there as well. So that means we're probably going to see a short lane Keeper as a result of that. And I would then assume the solo mid Succubus. But see, again, a lot of talk back and forth going on in the chat right there. But yeah, the laning phase is always going to be interesting to see what we have come about.
Yeah. The only thing there's a couple things. One, SG, if they know that they're going to be like carry versus carry or just free farmer versus free farmer, you have to know in the late game you do not have this at all. Like, Jeraziah with a Protective Charm, Silhouette with Empath inside of her, Tempest in the late game is very strong.
Wild Soul.
Wild Soul is very strong. But at the same time, SG has an extremely powerful early game lineup with lots of push. And Hammerstorm is a pretty good early game hero as well with that push, and he can push himself with the ultimate. So if SG wants to win this, they got to win this early, in my opinion.
Yeah, nope, you're right. Definitely looking at that now. You pointed out, and 110% agree. I mean, it is pretty ridiculous how SG, they cannot compete whatsoever against tdM when it comes to the mid to late game stage. So expect some early aggression to come out here from Stray Green, wanting to play aggressive, get those early kills, and maybe that even makes a little bit more sense with a Succubus pickup. I mean, Succubus is definitely a hero that could promote a lot of aggressive roaming early on and can set up those early on ganks. The Succubus hold her ultimate very, very powerful. I can guarantee you a kill pretty much. Right off the bat, if you look to use it. So, yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting to see how Stay Green, how active they ultimately play it. when it comes down to it. So looks like we are waiting on Stay Green to resume here, and then apparently Keizu had to go AFK. Okay, it looks like he's back now. And into game one, we officially go here out of the competitive pause. So again, the pseudo tri-lane top is what we're expecting, Succubus mid, and like I said, the short lane keeper then as a result of that. But yeah, that's a good thing for observers at least, is that you really Stay Green. I'm sure they know it as well. I mean, they have to play aggressive. There's no question about it. And
yeah,
it's going to be fun to watch, I'm sure. So looking forward to that.
I think we might actually see a Wild Soul mid. Look at his items. These do not reflect really items that would be from a Suicide Wild Soul. Now, it could be a Suicide Wild Soul, but I think this might actually be a Wild Soul mid, Tempest in Jungle, solo short Jeremiah. And the reason is, I think that tdM wants to contest the lane of Stay Green. I think they realize, too, that at the same time, we might see some differences up top as well. We could see the aggressive tri-lane coming out from Stay Green.
Yeah.
And in a sense, you kind of want to dodge, honestly, if you're Stay Green, because you need to get the farm up early. You can't contest and then take this to the late game. You need to get farm up early and then use that farm early to propel you into the mid game just with massive push and massive items up onto everybody, because you will have stronger pushing potential early on than tdM. And I think tdM thought that SG was just going to run the standard, Ophelia in your own jungle, dual lane bottom, and then run with that. And they wanted to fight against that. But they're not going to find them. They're actually going to find a solo short keeper.
Yeah, that they are. I mean, and now, so we're going to see here a Succubus versus a Wild Soul mid. Definitely not something you would expect. What do you make? Again, we know Succubus in 1-versus-1 matchup. She is a very powerful hero. How will she fare against a Wild Soul, you figure?
I still think that she'll do fine. Like, I really do. You can't kill Succubus. You just simply can't do it. Not even with Wild Soul. Not even with Lucky Entangle procs. She just has good stats early on. She has fantastic damage, and she has a leech ability that gives herself life back. So I still give the edge to Succubus here, especially when she hits level 6.
You see Nymphora kind of babysitting Ophelia here in the jungle, as a result. It doesn't really need to be at the top lane necessarily. So just going to leech some experience off of Ophelia and make sure things are fine. Maybe even look to set up a gank here in the middle lane if Wild Soul actually isn't careful. He is pretty pushed up now. He does spot them, definitely. I mean, there's a ward of sight here. Very defensive ward of sight for that matter. That was actually placed by Zai. Giving them plenty of vision here, and he definitely knows. You see his positioning. He knows what's up. Nymphora is kind of going to make an adjustment, however, it seems like, as both him and Ophelia are heading towards the bottom lane. Ophelia going all the way to her own jungle, and I guess Nymphora even just going to assist her in that. So, big transition coming out here from Stay Green to start things off, Trout.
Yeah, and you have an offensive jungling Tempest, and I wonder how successful this is going to be. Now, they did get the lane control. They got the lane control for Silhouette, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult for SD to coordinate some kind of gank here, especially coordinating a gank with Keeper. Like, how are you, like, Keeper, go invis yourself, I'll stun. Like, it doesn't really work out. Now, if you had Hammerstorm down there, a totally different story. But
yeah,
I really actually feel like the tdM has the better edge here right now. Unless Stay Green decides to change this up. But, I mean, now that I think about it, even if you had your dual lane bottom of Hammerstorm and Nymphora, you have Ophelia in your jungle supporting you as well.
Yeah.
So this would force tdM to move as well. But right now they have the lane control, and they're doing a lot better early on here than Stay Green is. Minus has already transitioned into his own jungle after he saw that Ophelia has moved as well.
Yeah, of course, making a quick reaction. So both teams definitely making some adjustments early on. Again, what you would expect from these top-tier teams. And it seems like it may start to level up now. The Haste Rune is picked up by Nymphora, and she is headed towards the middle lane. She does have that level 1 Zeal, of course, but I don't know by any means if they'd have nearly enough damage to take out this Wild Soul. Top, but in the meantime, Jeremiah, a lot of pressure. Good hero blocking, actually, from Hammerstorm coming out to get some tower damage as a result. Not going to be nearly enough in the end, though, and Jeremiah will be fine. But good pressure nonetheless from Slicks. Does need to be careful. It's another heal bomb from Jeremiah, but in comes Nymphora, missing this Zeal stun, however. And Jeremiah applying the Protective Charm as a just in case. Will be fine. But now Nymphora all the way back to the top lane. So Nymphora has been all over the place already here in this game. She did have the haste stream, which helped her get back to the top lane, sure, but
I was wondering how she got up there that fast. It really was.
Picked up the bottom haste, so at least that helped. But yeah, up top now and basically making it a 2-versus-1 top lane now. So both teams making some adjustments here early on. Quite a bit for that matter.
Limp is out of region. I believe, I'm guessing about a bottle or something. And no, it's just, okay, the, what is this called? The Amulet of Exile, just plus some extra regen. So he's doing pretty good early on. He noticed that he was up against a solo Hammerstorm for quite some time. He has 11 CS, not bad at all to start things out. Let's look at the mid lane. 12 and 8 for Succubus. Wild Soul has 8 and 9, and he did get pressured early on from some roam from both Nymph4 and Ophelia. So Zai doing a pretty good job getting those extra denies and creep kills using assistance from Boo Boo as well.
Yeah. Again, the scary, very scary mark, though, is that Succubus level 6. That Succubus hold on top of the Heartache, it will drop really anyone in this game as soon as it gets it, at least. So you got to be careful if you're Wild Soul for that reason, similar to like a Polywog Priest and whatnot, but we'll see. Swinamel's playing the Succubus. He seems like he's having a fairly good start himself. Levels are definitely there, and you see the auto attacks constantly to harass Wild Soul. As Wild Soul doing the same thing himself, though. I've kind of been watching this middle lane a little bit more than the others, and I've still yet to see an Entangle proc actually from Boo Boo. So kind of interesting note there. But level 5 Succubus, so again, 1 level away now from getting to that very, very dangerous mark here. In the meantime, Silhouette is basically free farming, it seems like, here at the bottom lane. 22 and 11 now against your keeper, who's only 6 and 1, of course, and now he's even in the jungle. Middle lane, though, sleep on a Wild Soul. Are they going to set something up? No, they're not. And actually, that's true. That's an advantage of Wild Soul with that Boo Boo, with a sleep where he can actually have Boo Boo take it.
Yeah,
that's actually didn't even think about that, but
yeah, I don't think that they should have opened up with a sleep. In fact, I was wondering why. I mean, Swindlemelons has before that point had 2/3 of a bottle and full mana, and just I feel like he needs to be way more liberal with his spam onto a Wild Soul. Like I think he can actually just keep spamming that and just keep him down. And with the extra denies, actually the denies are even right now. So, I mean, you think about, you have the ultimate from Succubus when he hits 6, but at this rate, Wild Soul's going to hit 6 at basically the same time. And when he gets that ultimate up, I don't think you can kill him with just the ultimate from Succubus because he's going to have so much HP on a Wild Soul. So, I think he needs to play this lane a little bit more aggressively in mid.
Well, we'll see right here. Is he going to hit level 6? No, not just yet. Maybe a couple more creep kills. And he will. So again, I'm really making sure to keep my eye on that once he does. But Zai, obviously, he's very well. He's a very smart player. He is himself. That is a possibility. There you go with the Heartaches, as you're talking about. Wanted to be a little bit more liberal. He also just got delivered boots, actually. So, Wild Soul does have boots himself, so he's got some good speed too. But again, keeping a close eye on that. But yeah, Silhouette being played by Noob G, of course. Very good start for him at the bottom lane. He is actually getting closer to finishing his Ghost Marchers, I'm sure, as Noob G does here. And there's Succubus level 6, and look at that. Immediately goes for the dive. The Succubus hole comes out, has a Heartache to follow. Here comes Ophelia just in case. Heartache, not even necessary. Swindlemelons picking up the Bloodlust kills. You knew it was coming. Zai knew it was coming. Still couldn't stop it.
Yeah, well, Swindle did a really good job about running up there even before he was level 6. He knew he didn't have to go for the last hit to obviously get the experience. He walked up there, timed it, knew that as he would get into range, the creep would die, and that would put him at the level 6. And as a result, was able to get that ultimate off onto Wild Soul, and even help from Ophelia, but it wasn't really necessary. But did give him some assist gold, so that's good for him.
Yeah, why the hell not? Spread the wealth. Z-Freak will take that. As you do look at Z-Freak's farm, even with that assist, it's barely struggling to stay at 200 gold per minute, actually. So, a couple more adjustments being made here, by the way. Homecoming Stone by Hammerstorm at the bottom lane, but Silhouette also transitions to the top here herself, and I'm guessing Jerizaiah is also going to transition now as he buys a Homecoming Stone. In fact, going mid, Succubus isn't a lot of trouble. The Entangle on top of the Tempest Stone. There's that Tempest Ultimate. They really want to get that kill. That they will. I don't know about the Tempest Ultimate, honestly.
Yeah.
Granted, the Heartache, there is that turnaround potential, I guess, but, well, they made sure, so he is dead.
I watched the very end of it, so I can't exactly comment to see if it was necessary or not, but nonetheless, they still got the kill, and the biggest picture is the numbers are definitely in favor of tdM early on here. So despite the first blood coming out onto Zai, they have a faster farmer in Tempest versus the Ophelia, and they got a lot of farm on the Silhouette, and like I was going to say, that just the fact that you're able to win through the lane. If you're able to survive through the laning phase against SG's lineup and just take it to the mid to late game, I feel like you will win. Now here comes that much necessary pressure from Stay Green with Keeper and Ophelia. Lots of creeps, lots of minions pushing those towers. And of course the brute strength from Hammerstorm. He does have that ready, and it looks like they're going to push another one. And this is what they need to do. They need to keep the aggression up against the superior late game team of tdM.
Yeah, I mean, Limp has been here. I like he was doing like Limp was here. Hammerstorm didn't even care. He stunned the creep wave behind him and went for creep kills. He knows that they're not going to kill Jerizaiah, or at least at that time. So he was just worrying about farming more so than worrying about killing the Jerizaiah. But there goes that brute strength. I guess I almost said hammer, but this gets the sword is doing extra damage now for him. And this tower, it is going to fall. Not going to be denied even. 2 tower pushes just like that. Top lane being counter pushed in the meantime. Are we going to maybe see TPs here as a reaction? No, we're not. It doesn't look like it. So it will be a tower kill at least for Trademark, but basically a 2-for-1 tower exchange there going on in favor of Stay Green, of course. And look at Slicks especially. He now has 1670 gold saved up. Slicks on the Hammerstorm is farming 375 gold per minute currently, so yeah, very good start for him.
It is, and they just need to continue this, honestly. Like, they need to pub train this, to be quite frank. And already, Keeper walking towards mid, as is Hammerstorm. I thought for a second that the mana ring was coming up from Hammerstorm, but it's on Keeper. They were right next to each other. But they're just continuing to push this, and that's, again, that's exactly what they have to do against the lineup that tdM has, because they do have stronger lineup in the late game. Jeremiah, I mean, look at it. Jeremiah Silhouette Wild, so it's pretty damn strong. Even though Empath isn't getting any levels, once she gets 6, it doesn't matter, because you can just jump into somebody.
It's a mix of that. It's like, yeah, so you're dealing against the support team, and actually the Minotaur's on the Wild Soul. There's the Succubus Hog. Very good coordination here coming from the Legion team. He is in ulti form. It's going to be close. A Heartache, I'm sure. Yes, it will guarantee the kill. Swinamons will get it. They got the tower kill as well. So you put it, sure, in a sense, they're kind of pub trained. You know, hey, seeing that word, it sounds almost like evil or cheesy, but no, in a sense, they have a Keeper, Ophelia, and even a Hammerstorm. They have a mass tower pushing team as well. So why not take advantage of your strengths? And that's exactly what they're doing here. Look at this. They are going to get a 4th tower kill now. Yeah. Only 9.5 minutes in. They've only lost 1 themselves. This is good for Stay Green.
And they can keep going, honestly. Look at Ophelia's gold now. You were talking about he didn't have as much farm early on. Well, with all these tower pushes, he's at the 300 gold per minute, hoarding 2,000 gold now.
Jeez.
And I would like to just see just straight up team fight items from Stay Green, like Astrolabe, early barrier idol, things like this, because again, you can win. You should win this early if you're Stay Green. Now you are at a deficit in experience, no doubt, but that won't matter if you have tons of items up onto your team.
You know what? It's interesting you say that, and I want to get your thought on this real quickly. Portakey was purchased by Hammerstorm, but then he sold it real quickly, and so it's clearly a change of mind here coming out from Slicks. Would you like the Portal here? Do you agree with him selling and going for something else?
I don't think he needs it. I don't think they need initiation, honestly. I think just making your team beefy, perhaps even just a first item, Shrunken Head, might be the smartest route, to be honest. Look at, speaking of interesting item pick, what is Mina's purchasing here? He has double Amulet of the Exile.
Oh, wow.
That's very interesting. They do some counter pushing of their own in the bottom lane, and that's good. This is going to be a game of counter pushing for tdM.
Yeah.
Wild Soul, he's up to about 1,800 gold. I will say that was kind of unfortunate. He got picked off in the mid there. That really shouldn't have happened. The TP came out from Jeremiah to try to save him, but it was too late. But still, more pushing. This is going to be the last outer tower at just the 11-minute mark.
11 minutes in. All outer towers are going to be destroyed in favor of Stay Green. They've lost 2 themselves, but they have 6 taken out. Hatred is bottled up, by the way, on Swinamel, so he still has that to work with. There's a lot of gold being pulled up all across the board, though, on the Legion team especially. In fact, 3,400 alone on Hammerstorm. You might be right. That just the right-away Shrunken Head is a very likely possibility. Now, they're under-leveled. I mean, pushing into the base, it's going to be difficult, even with this pushing that they have. So that's the one thing you could say you might need to be a little bit careful about. But okay, they're going to lose the bottom secondary tower as well. Hellborn team, they are here ready to defend. So the tower has fallen somewhat, but it still has plenty of life. Will Stay Green commit to this? It doesn't look like it.
I think that, I mean, you have 3,500 gold on your Hammerstorm. At least wait for him to spend that and get a big item.
Yeah.
The secondary tower push bottom is successful for tdM. So, like I said, you have a lot more grouping up coming up from Stay Green. So as a result, you actually do have quite a big experience lead for tdM early on. And then 4 is only level 4. She does have 200 gold per minute, but she's only level 4. Ophelia's only level 6.
She just hit 5. Okay.
She just hit level 5. Okay. So, but they still are lacking in the experience department.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say concede that push for now. Go back, get some core items on your heroes, and then look to push right away. And Sanitarius actually picked up on Hammerstorm. I think that's fine, actually.
Yeah.
To be honest, the Shrunken Head, yeah, it's good, but what is it really mitigating? It's not really mitigating all that much magic damage, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the Tempest Ultimate is still going to go through it, so I actually think that's a very, very smart pickup from Slicks.
Yeah, again, he did actually purchase the Portal Key initial. I was keeping an eye on that, but then he sold it a couple seconds later, and you know this is the result of that. So choosing to go with the Sanitarius seems like you agree with that, and already another 1,200 gold actually saved up. So he is getting beefy, man. I mean, you look at the overall hero damage even, obviously. Wow, it's actually an interesting chart to look at, but this has been more about tower kills, I guess. I don't even know why I'm looking at that, honestly, but this is our classic case at the same time. Keep her a little bit careful. He'll be fine. Experience lead, 4,600 now in favor of tdM, so clearly having that, and obviously it makes sense. But it is about a 2,300 gold lead right now for Stay Green, and obviously showing Granted, it's with being 6 tower kills compared to 3. You could argue maybe it isn't as high as you would expect. So you still got Noob G on here on Silhouette. He is at 406 gold per minute right now on the Silhouette. So he is having a good time despite all this pushing going on here by the Legion team, as is everyone really. I mean, you look at even Tempest, Jeremiah, and a Wild Soul. They're all at 330 around that mark. I mean, that's very good, honestly. So
yeah, well, it was really smart as a whole for tdM to just avoid the pushes. You could see like some teams that are in the competitive scene that just simply that aren't as experienced, but like, guys, we're losing all of our towers at just the 11 minutes. When are we going to defend these? But you can't do it. Like, you just simply can't do it against a lineup like this that already has a gold lead because of the tower pushes that they had before that time. So it's a really smart idea by tdM to just, concede the push, try to get something out of it. And in most cases, they did. Like, yeah, they are down by 3 towers right now, but they've at least killed the other ones. So they've done a really good job about getting some kind of trade for these tower pushes that SG has done early on.
Yeah. I do kind of wonder a little bit, and, the idea to pick up Nymphora as your support, do you think that was maybe the best pickup here, knowing that they are, sure, it promotes early aggression in terms of ganks, but is it really helping with your push the most? Would you maybe wanted to see another support like that Andromeda or something like that? Or
well, yeah, I mean, I would say, well, at least the mana feed is helping you, with your team, but you have a Ring of Sorcerer up on Keeper. So this was their first pick, and it's hard to say, like, in hindsight now, because they didn't necessarily know that this was the lineup that they were going to go for. If it was, then I do agree with you. Yeah, I think Andromeda would be really good with these pushes, but that's not to say that Nymphora is, like, bad in these pushes. Like,
no, of course
I still think she's fine, but in hindsight, like, if you have a Keeper that's going to go for Ring of Sorcery, maybe I would have gone for the pod route on Nymphora instead to have, just an extra amount of heal on your team.
Yeah.
That's about it, though.
Okay. You mentioned earlier how this, especially State Green, it's all about the team items at this point. Sacrificial Stone actually just finished on Ophelia, so back-to-back games now. It happens to be here on HoNcast where we have first item, Sacrificial Stones. Remember, we had it on Wretched Hag last game, actually, in the Lions SG series. So this is an item. Apparently, might start seeing a little bit more here, but Ophelia, she purchased it. I wonder, is it on the courier? Okay, yeah, it is being delivered right here, so she has that to work with. Obviously, you have an Astral Label on her as well. You got the Ring of Sorcery and Ring of Teacher on KZU playing the Keeper. Succubus has a Mighty Blade, by the way, and about nearly another 1,000 gold saved up. So she is trying to work on that Shrunken Head. And, of course, when you think about it, being able to channel that ultimate freely, for the most part, with the Shrunken Head up would be very powerful.
Yeah.
If anything, just for the crowd control out of it, not even necessarily going for the kill. I mean, that's a cool thing about Succubus to me, is not even necessarily her laning potential 1v1. Sure, gank potential is great, but the fact that she can literally hard lock down 2 heroes with the Succubus Hold and the Mesmerize, and in a sense it could be a third with the Smitten even. If you use that, say, on the Silhouette, and then you Succubus Hold Jeremiah and and then you sleep like the Wild Soul or something like that. You could really lock down 3 heroes in that sense. So
yeah, I actually really, really love Succubus as a hero. Some people think that without farm, she just does absolutely nothing in the late game, which I can see that because everything is single target. It's not AoE, so it can be seen that way. But I agree with you. I think you can lock down a number of different heroes with your abilities if you use them correctly and use them fast.
yeah, again, that's obviously perfect case scenario,
right?
But the idea is definitely there. So. Here we go again. Look at this massive push here from the Legion team as expected. All the creeps. The Hammerstorm stun going to randomly come out. Not for anything to help. There's a Mesmerize, but of course Tempest quickly taking it off of Wild Soul right there. Wants to make sure that he's okay. You did mention the double Amulet of the Exile on Tempest. By the way, he's turned that into a Ring of Sorcery and a Grave Locket even. So he did eventually upgrade both of them.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of makes sense, yeah. Not going the Portal Key, obviously.
Which he shouldn't. You shouldn't go. You should never get Blink against a huge push team like this. Not to mention when they have basically 3 different ways to cancel the Tempest ultimate. Well, a ton of different ways until you get that Shrunken Head. But even with the Shrunken Head, you have the Succubus Hold, which can cancel it, the Root, and then of course the minions from Ophelia if she does have the Skeleton Kings.
Yep, makes sense. In the end, you do have to remember, you are doing against a Jeremiah here, trying to push you to a base for a team fight. And again, this goes back to, it's not like the Hellborn team's under-farmed because of all this push. Stressing that point, this is still a very good farm tdM team. So
it is.
This is not an easy push by any means. It's kind of showing here. They're trying to take out the tower at the very least, but it is barely staying alive. tdM is at the same time, they're playing it patient, but as you mentioned earlier, they're playing it correct. They're not forcing a fight by any means. They want to, you know, bait Stay Green up into their base, if not have the tower also assist them with some damage. So Stay Green, they really at least want to kill that tower, of course, but we'll see if they get it maybe this creep wave here as the sacrificial stone is applied. And here we go, the tower. But look at that, the quick creep clearing. And then the invulnerability even used. Succubus was running up right there, and she is starting to run away now. Nature's Veil is applied. She's going to Heartache real quickly to heal up a little bit. But that was a great creep clear from tdM. 0 damage on the tower right there.
And also the empath walls are making it very annoying to try to get into the base to attack it with your hero yourself, because it's blocking it off. It's blocking the path, and they have to run around it. It makes it take longer to actually get the tower killed.
Boy, oh boy. I mean, it just does not stop. Look at the minions blocking. Again, though,
See that?
trying to, yeah, they can't. Look at, the tower's been under 100 life now for 2 or 3 creep waves. They just cannot kill it. That's pretty ridiculous. But at the same time, again, just well played by tdM, but I don't know, is Stay Green doing the right thing here? I mean, should they? In fact, they're going to try to run away, but here we go. tdM knows that they're down a number. In comes a Tree Grapple on an M4. She's in a lot of trouble. Zealsta will connect. That might be the saving grace. Silhouette continuing to chase as is Tempest, but they don't really have those portal keys or anything, so I don't know if they're going to be able to chase them down. It doesn't look like it, but finally, Stay Green retreats.
And speaking of portal keys, this might be, that push right there might tell you that we actually need some initiation on this team. Like, clearly we cannot push into the base right now. As funny as that sounds with all the heroes that you have and how much farm you had on these heroes early on, you're going to need this initiation. It's just impossible the way that this is turning out. So perhaps now a Blink on Hammerstorm does sound like a good idea if you're Slicks.
Yeah, I mean, just the damage, the upgrade that base tower does, as well as the armors. Now, Silhouette running into a little bit of trouble right here. He ran right next to some Minotaurs. But Z-Freak choosing not to stun. Hammerstorm is charging in. There we go. Galvanize going to be used. That is a level 4 Galvanize. No, it's actually level 1. He actually leveled up the Mighty Swing. Interesting. That's a level 4 Mighty Swing, yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that at all.
Yeah. What would you rather see, just stats?
Like, you're not really doing any... You're not really doing that much physical damage. So it's really... And no one's going to be grouped up here on the enemy team, so I would much rather have the armor buff.
They finally decided in the end, or denied in the end. But yeah, so the stats are even then maxing out the Galvanize, yeah. I will say, with Bruce Strength and then the Insanitarius used, he will be hitting pretty damn hard, to be fair, so.
I just feel like with a team, when you want like as many buffs on you as possible, that huge burst or buff of armor would be, I think, more effective.
Look at these walls again, just constantly put up an empath, just causing awkward angles, if anything. Smitten was applied to Succubus. That actually is a pretty long, how long does that last? Oh, there's a Hammerstorm stone, but that lasts for 15 seconds, it looks like. There's a Mesmerize on a Tempest. They saw him charging in. Maybe wanted to make something happen, but this is just so awkward. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if we've ever seen anything like this before. This early on in the game, both teams just going back and forth at one person's base. No, they're not breaking in, but the other team's holding them off long enough, but they're not falling back. I mean, this is just so weird.
Yeah.
Like, usually, if anything, we see this 50 minutes into a game. What are we at right now? 20 minutes. We just hit 20 minutes.
Well, this is being really well played by tdM in particular. Yeah. They're holding off everything they need to. And like I said, tdM knows that they have the late game. All they have to do is just survive until that point, and they will win with flying colors. So, again, I really feel like if you're Hammerstorm, this should be a cue. We can't do anything right now. I need to get some initiation. I need to get a portal key and actually just jump onto someone and get the fight just jump-started that way.
We'll see. He is very close to portal key, actually. He needs just 10 more gold. And he will be able to pick that up now. Of course, he will have to have it delivered, so take a little bit more time. But so there you go. He has enough for it. We'll see if this is the cue for Slicks to actually get that portal key or not. Keeper of the Force also has a gold saved up, for that matter. He has nearly 1,600, so he too is getting pretty close. Yeah, it doesn't look
It's
like.
honestly that, or it's just a Shrunken Head. I'm going to charge in the base with my Shrunken Head, with my ulti, hit the racks, and then see what the other team does. That could be the other route as well.
I mean, I keep going back to, it feels like Stay Green is kind of just knocking their heads against the door and no one's really answering. And they're continuing to do that because the gold per minute chart, I keep obviously bringing this back up, and you look at it. I mean, sure, Hammerstorm is on top, but Silhouette, Tempest, Jeremiah, and Wild Soul are all there. By the way, does Wild Soul have a mock?
No.
Okay, yeah, he went Ghost Marches on Bear. Okay, yeah, so he went with more build-up items here. But he has 3,100 gold saved up, actually, so he is getting to that point, too.
If he gets the mock relatively soon, if he gets it before this this push isn't decided with a huge team fight, and that's going to be really bad. The walls are continuing to make it more difficult. Look, they can't, even though it doesn't do that much damage, it's making it annoying and hard to maneuver around.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because you think of just great heroes that are just awesome against creep clearing and whatnot and pushes. Honestly, Empath doesn't come to the foremind, but Visca has no doubt been doing a lot with those walls here and causing issues for this Legion team. So here we are again. I mean, the melee racks, it is taking a decent amount of damage. It's not like it's just staying fully alive by any means, but Succubus really up there. She actually finished her tablet, by the way, so she didn't choose to finish the
interesting.
Shrunken.
Yeah, I find that really, I feel like you buy a Shrunken, you can just grip someone like Jeremiah immediately, and then no one can cancel it except for the Tempest ultimate, but with him having the items that he does, it's kind of hard to maneuver. I don't know, Tablet's never a bad item, though. It's still fine for team fights and whatnot, but look, they have to concede the push again until they get some bigger and better items. But again, it's a stalling time for tdM to go to the late game. And again, once you get that Mock Brilliance up on the Bear, I don't know how you're going to push up against that. I really don't.
That's going to be really annoying.
And Jeremiah can still heal the Bear.
Oh, here we go. Actually, Minus was actually pushing out in front right there. Hammerstorm chasing the Galvanize. Is it going to Hammerstorm stun? No. Great wall from Fitzke once again. And that will stop it. There was a big chance right there, but it's not successful. The no-stone on Silhouette, by the way, that's now something else that they're going to have to deal with. Granted, the Smitten is actually pretty good at removing that, honestly.
Portal key on Keeper.
Portal key on Keeper. Also Portal key on Tempest, by the way. He just purchased his own Portal key. So he's thinking about going in, maybe. Nope, he's not going to. He's gonna take the Mesmerize, in fact, but there's gonna be some aggression now on the melee racks. You mentioned the Portal key on Keeper, not delivered yet. That's a big thing to observe there.
There it is.
Okay, it is gonna be delivered. So there you go. He now has that initiation. Will they go in here shortly? Sort of the high just purchased on a Wild Soul in the meantime. There's a deactivation of the Null Stone. Is that maybe the time? He could hit 0-5 right here. But at the same time, they know obviously Tempest has a Portal key himself. But you still have plenty of ways to stop it, even without a root, of course. So, God, something happened, please. This is just...
We are at a 2-1 hero kill lead in favor of SG at 24 minutes.
I've had the camera literally in like this position up here for the last, it feels like 10-15 minutes. I mean, this is pretty ridiculous how again, I'm not blaming anyone because, as you said, honestly, this is just even more so Trademark Esports playing this phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
They really are. They're playing it very, very smart. And here we go. They're actually going to chase Ophelia's going to get caught out. The Tempest ultimate will lock down Ophelia. Will they have to follow up? In comes the River, give the points, but look at the wall off right there from Fitzke, just in case. So a root was used. Absolutely nothing comes of it. Ophelia's dead, and Stay Green will need to fall back. Big catch by tdM.
Yeah. And you can honestly right there play the music when you hit the X button on HoN. It's like, did. Because honestly, I feel it's like, as you get to this point, you lose a team fight. That wasn't really a team fight, but this is slowly stalling for tdM. Oh, we might see some aggression up here.
Nature's Veil, there we go. There's the initiation. You stun the creeps, of course, because of the Null Stone. Brute Strength active, but again, the wall's causing issues. Succubus, hold on to Silhouette right there. Protective Charm is applied, but Hammerstorm don't give two shits. He's going to pat in. There's the Soul's Blessing, though. The splitter from Silhouette. Keeper the Forest now in a little bit of trouble as is Silhouette. Or excuse me, not Silhouette, but Succubus. Hammerstorm still chasing, but Empath jumps inside Silhouette. Running away. Tempest is going to get picked off, actually. And this is numbers in favor of the Legion team. Tempest cannot buy back, granted it's only 30-second resurrection. But this is probably the timing now, finally, for Stay Green to push in right here with Tempest dead. Shrunken Head was just purchased, by the way, on Hammerstorm 2, and it is being delivered. So Brute Strength up in 45 seconds here for him. I don't know if they're going to be able to get the racks here necessarily. We'll see with this creep wave there. He takes out the Null Stone on the Silhouette. There's the invulnerability. 10 seconds for Tempest. Now, he won't have an ultimate. That's a big thing to note, too, when he comes back up. But he is going to come back up here. The melee racks is dropping, though. Hammerstorm in the front line. Shrunken Egg being delivered in a couple of seconds. There goes the melee racks. A root there on the Keeper of the Forest. Tempest is porting in. Actually, Jeremiah jumps in. The Shrunken Egg is now officially delivered. Heal from Ophelia coming out. The port back on the Keeper, but now Ophelia's in trouble as he gets blinked on, and Ophelia looks like he will die once again, kind of being a sacrificial lamb. But Stay Green finally broke through and got the melee racks.
They finally did, but it's not game-breaking at all. Like, it's good. They finally got it, but they've slowly had a lead come out for tdM now as far as especially experience goes, and they've actually lost. They haven't lost the gold lead, but they've lost what of gold lead they had. Yeah, it was at one point, I think, 4K or something like that. It's now down to 2K, and it really isn't that impactful, honestly. Like, they're still gonna be able to farm that. tdM still has a strong late game, and like I said, once you get the mock up onto Boo Boo, it's gonna change things drastically, and he has it in just 200 gold.
Yeah, he'll, of course, have it before the next fight and the next push attempt, for that matter, for pretty much after cleaning up this creep wave. So Big there. And again, the thing that that's actually a great example. I mean, the fact that Wild Soul will now have a mock. You also got a tablet Ring of Sorcery on Jeremiah. You have the items on Tempest. It looks like he might actually still be even going for that Shrunken Head, despite even all the counters with it. But at least forcing them, limiting them to that, if anything, it still makes it worth it. So, yeah, tdM again continued to not really force anything here. They do push out a little bit as the mock appointments is officially delivered to Wild Soul there. But now the reset here from State Green, we'll see when they look to go in once again. Remember, Nefora is level 8 too, so they can maybe try to be a little bit sneaky with that, but this is not really that kind of game. I mean, you're not looking at gank people, obviously. You're looking to just ball up and push, basically. So.
Yeah, and they can't ease up. They really do need to keep going. So this is smart of them by just continually grouping up. They can't just reset, like you mentioned, just sit back and farm, because they know they won't have the tdM's number in the late game. So they need to keep grouping up, keep applying pressure, and they might, this is smart of them, actually. They have actually a Wolf Commander taken over by
nice.
Z-Freak, and it's just following Slicks here. So that's increasing his damage by quite a lot, up to 176 without the ultimate. They are looking towards Kongor right now, but they do have a ward actually spotted it out. tdM does, that is. But I was going to say, if they do push this bottom lane, that's very smart. You always want to push like one outer lane and then push the opposite one. If you push mid, there's less distance from mid to like top lane than there is from top to bottom. So it would be much smarter for them to push bottom.
Warp Cliff just picked up by Hammerstorm, actually. So obviously the Demonic Breastplate going to be finishing up here, and I think it's safe to say you like that.
Yeah,
the fact that he's going to finish that.
Again, another strong item, a good team fight item in general, going to up his attack speed by a lot. And one thing I did see one of the last team fights is Silhouette actually used her ultimate to get. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, the big jump. Hammerstorm going to take the stun. The Wolf Commander is chasing, and he will be fine, actually. He got tableted, I believe, by Succubus right there. So by all means, he is fine. Are they going to look to counter-initiate now? It doesn't look like it. Hellborn team not really in the position. The Hammerstorm stun was used. They may have even tried to kill Boo Boo right there, but he's more than fine as he runs back to base. So slight initiation, but nothing really too much. Again, Kongor up, but Fitzgate's ward will spot tdM, or State Green, that is, if they attempt to go for it. So
Boo Boo took a lot of damage.
Yeah.
He took it, so they can. That's kind of scary though if you're tdM, because that shows them, wow, we can't just rely on the mock from Boo Boo to just sit up there and do lots of damage, because it will die in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
From the damage that Slicks is outputting. And with that Wolf Commander, is this Wolf Commander still up? Yeah, it's not around him right now, but it is still up. And that will provide a lot of extra damage as well. So
you never see that, but you're right. For this circumstance, it definitely makes sense.
Oh, yeah, I was going to mention, it didn't make a big deal the last fight, but I'm pretty sure that ulting from Silhouette, if you have, like, the Soul's Blessing on you from Jeremiah, it dispels it. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure, because I actually saw him taking damage right after he ulted, despite the Soul's Blessing coming out from Jeremiah. So, like I said, it didn't really have an impact in the last team fight, but hopefully he doesn't do that again in a team fight where it would matter.
Yeah, dispel all states on self, so you'd figure it does. That's very interesting, actually. I never really think about that. But he just purchased a porta key, by the way, so he has that now as far as mobility goes, does Noob G. On the Silhouette, what would I want to mention? Oh, yeah, you know what they need as far as minions go? They could use a Snotter Boss. I keep going back to that, man. The Snotter Boss, think of that move speed increase.
Oh, yeah.
Think of how quickly it would die, though. I mean, there is a downside, but... What, actually, seriously, though, an Ice Ogre, actually, for this kind of lineup, seems like would be powerful for them to take advantage of.
Yeah,
maybe instead of the Minotaur, but...
Ice Ogre is not bad, but the thing about Ice Ogre is, like, I feel like on Ophelia, you just want more creeps that just do more damage and are more tanky themselves. And, oh, the wards are both being countered. You have a Bound Eye up onto Ophelia. Obviously, tdM knows what's going on, but they don't have vision inside the pit. They have a vision around it. And actually, look at that little minion right there, trying to kill that ward by Keizu. It's just, like, bugged out. You see this?
What's up?
Right here, this little minion.
Animated tree. You ain't doing that.
It was trying so hard to run up there.
It was close. It almost got it. Almost was mission successful, but they sent him in, and he died. He didn't die a lost soul, though. I'm sure they'll remember him fighting in his honor.
Okay.
Demonic Breastplate. I don't know
you play WoW on an RP server?
No.
Yeah, you did.
Hammerstorm is getting closer to finishing that Demonic Breastplate. I did say replace the Minotaur, but yeah, I kind of did forget. He actually does apply the attack speed aura, so that itself is good, of course, for the team. So Succubus in the front lines here. Oh, he's going to sleep Tempest right there, but the Mesmerize out, and here we go. Are they committing to this now? Hammerstorm is sitting on Kongor. Nope, going to start falling back. The Galvanize is activated, realizing this is not the time just yet. Boo Boo is going to stop to beat the focus fire. Tempest jumps in, though. Quick tablet on the Hammerstorm. He'll be fine. These teams just do not want to fully fight each other, man.
Yeah. You do have Nullstone up on the Silhouette. She's had it for some time, but she does have the Nullstone plus Protective Charm combination.
Yep.
So you cannot counter. Obviously, you can still keep him in his tracks with like a Keeper of the Forest ultimate, but you can't even use the ultimate from Succubus, which does go through Protective Charm because that Nullstone is still there. So very good combination coming out right there.
Hammerstorm kind of just tempting fate here in the front lines. I mean, he is obviously pretty damn beefy, and he does have the team support ready to go. So, okay, I mean, we're 32.5 minutes in now. You figure, if anything, you know, as we've been stressing this whole game, tdM has the late game advantage. But where is that mark? Where is that timing of, all right, Stay Green, your time has run out. You need to make this happen or else it's over. Do you feel like coming up here?
I don't know. Like, Hammerstorm continues to grow. Like, he's still getting really, really big, and he still is a hero that does so much damage in the late game. And because he has not gone for the portal key, one of the things I see with Hammerstorms that go for portal key is they start to like lose a lot of their farm afterwards because they try to focus so much on ganking. But this isn't the case with Slicks. He still is maintaining that 460 GPM, which is much, much higher than anyone on tdM.
Yeah.
Even Silhouette with their good items at this time with 1,800 gold saved up, Nullstone Blink, not even close to Slicks' farm. So he is keeping them in this game by himself just by having that much farm. Has his Demonic Breastplate, another 1,100 gold, so he is a force to reckon with.
There's the Sun on the Tempest, but no. I mean, they had a chance, but they're like, nope, not actually going. Boo Boo's going to be locked down by the net right there. I've never seen two teams play so passive in the face of one another. I'm not going to lie. They've literally jumped on one another like 4 or 5 times in the last 10 minutes, and they don't follow it up. Both teams just retreat, and it's like, okay, that just happened. This is crazy, but at the same time, again, I don't want to make it sound like that I'm like annoyed by it, because honestly, I'm not. I think we are seeing just very good and very smart play by both of these teams, really. I mean, neither team, obviously, this is the grand finals. Obviously, both teams are very aware of what's on the line, you know, what this would mean to win this series. You want to make sure, and, you know, maybe as a result of that, we're having a game played like this, but they're playing smart.
Well, and playing against the Jeremiah is pretty hard, too. Like, even if Slicks jumps in, if he gets a little bit of initiation on a Tempest, if he tries to go full out onto a hero like Tempest, or just anyone for that matter, and you have that Soul's Blessing apply, oh, Silhouette could be in a lot of trouble.
The Minotaur Sun hits. Again, a wall coming out from Manpath, kind of making it awkward. There's a Protective Charm, and the Minotaur will actually fall right there. So something died at least.
That was so risky by Minuts.
Yeah.
Unbelievably risky. My God. He was very separated from the rest of his team. He was trying to, like, fake out an ultimate right there, but oh my God, if he got caught, that was going to be so GG for that team fight.
Has anyone actually bought back yet? No, there have been no buybacks used, but of course that's nothing to keep in mind. With all the gold being pulled up, really on both sides for that matter. I mean, Jeremiah, Tempest, and Silhouette all over around 2,200 gold. Same thing on the Legion side. Succubus, Hammerstorm, and Keeper all around 2,200 gold. So, okay, Brute Strength activated actually, so that kind of shows you they want to really get this Kongor kill now. They're right on top of a Ward of Sight, though. Little do they know, tdM has full vision of this, but the Brute Strength activated. I mean, so in a big team fight now, he won't have that up, and he'll be losing out on a lot of damage because of that. Boo Boo's going to be locked down. Boo Boo may fall right here. Of course, Wild Soul will bring it back up, but Kongor's getting very, very low. Hammerstorm's in some trouble. He's at half-life. Going to be tabbed forward. Is going to be fine. Ophelia Heal's going to come up, but now Kongor may be stolen, actually. There's a Succubus hold on to Jeremiah. Is this going to be it, finally? The tab is holding him in the background. Keep coming out in the meantime. Soul's Blessing going to be used. Hammerstorm barely surviving, but he does not have his cooldowns right now. He needs to get away. He's going to go for the port. He should be fine. Silhouette. No, the tree grapple stops him and takes him out. Meanwhile, the rest of the team in Trademark Esports is pursuing. Succubus will get caught out. Hammerstorm does buy back immediately, by the way.
So does
and
Succubus.
remember, Kongor is very, very low. Succubus buys back as well. Jeremiah is actually porting back to base. He ported to the top, and they want to save those range tracks, I guess, but they're not going to commit to Kongor now because of that. And now the Legion team is going to come back, and they may get Kongor here if they can do this. God, this game is crazy, man.
Do we have the ultimate up onto Noob G? No, we don't. He can't go for a steal here. He actually could go for a steal and just sacrifice himself and then buy out. It honestly might not be the dumbest decision either, because he does have buyout. And you don't want to fight the next fight with the Token of Life up on the hammer.
He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. Did he get it? Yes, it got it! Noob G got it! So he's going to sacrifice himself. This is what you talked about. Are they going to be able to follow it up? There's the stun. Silhouette is dropping. Wild Soul jumping in, getting some heals. Is Jeremiah nearby? Tempest jumping in. No, he is not. Down goes Tempest as well.
Yeah.
Tempest joining the party. Not sure what that was about. And actually, Mesmerize is going to be used on Jeremiah. Now they are pursuing here. No Succubus Hole, but Smitten's going to be applied in the background. The Tree Dogs are going to come out right here, do a little bit of blocking. Nice Talifora, but the stun connects to Jeremiah. The wall from Empath blocking them off. All the buybacks happen, by the way, by Tempest and Silhouette. And now they're coming back in, and this will force Stay Green to fully retreat. Ophelia is going to go for the port. She will be successful. The rest, it's going to be close. Silhouette jumps in, gets the snipe on an Amphora, but I think Succubus will be fine. Crazy stuff, Trev.
Silhouette still trying to pursue, but not going to find anybody. Their top racks, the second one, the range racks, did fall. Not the biggest deal in the world, but they're, the rest of the base is kind of getting pressured right now. That was pretty silly by Minus. I mean, he did buy out again, but I feel like it should have just been I jump in there, take the token, I'll buy out, and he bought out anyway. And there was no reason for Tempest to just jump in there and fight like that. They weren't winning a fight at all. So he could have just, like I said, Noob G just could have sacrificed himself, jump in there. They still got the better end of that, though. Like, yeah, they lost the other racks, but they got rid of the token. Like I said, you do not want to fight Hammerstorm with that kind of push, with a racks down especially, with him having a token of life.
Yeah, I mean, so Hammerstorm now coming back up. He actually has another Helm of the Victim. Obviously, you use that to create an Sanitarius, but has another one. So I'm guessing Whispering Helm here going to be coming up, and you got to think eventually that will be a symbol of rage, actually, for Hammerstorm as a result of that. In the meantime, Silhouette, she actually finishes her Shield Breaker here. And I know you talk about this combo all the time, and it seems like Noob G definitely comes through for you, Treff, a lot. He has the Portal Key, Nullstone, Shield Breaker combo here coming out for him. The Whispering Helm is finished, by the way, on Hammerstorm, as he just got the Hungry Spirit. So that symbol of rage, if it can eventually get to that stage, he will be very, very scary with that especially.
Oh, yeah.
So
I would like to see personally an Elder Parasite on him actually over the Symbol of Rage. I mean, Symbol of Rage is pretty damn good, but I like seeing a very... Well, you know what? He's actually attacking fast anyway, so with the Demonic. So I actually like this. This is going to secure more of a late game like hero for Slicks, having that you know, Symbol of Rage in the near future.
Is it kind of surprising a little bit, to an extent, how Hammerstorm actually is being able to carry for Stay Green?
It is,
as
actually.
powerful as he can, yeah.
I actually am just a little bit surprised because normally with push lineups, your heroes in general just start to lose out on a lot of farm. I mean, look at the rest of his team. Even though all the tower pushes have happened and they had that huge lead early on and the racks were even pushed, Swindlemelon's 220 gold per minute, Keizu 250, Z-Freak 220, with Skyzo 140. Like that's what happens naturally when you push so heavily like that. But Slick's 460, so he's still finding farm regardless of being grouped up as a team for most of the time.
That's pretty crazy. That really is crazy.
It's just a testament to how good of a player Slicks is in that carry role.
Yeah, we've stressed that many times for obvious reasons, and just yet again another example here. Swindlemelon is kind of hiding up here at the top, and he's actually going to tablet forward, and Mesmerize goes out and Amphora porting in. They were baiting this whole time. He does have a second of his hold ready. There we go. Can the support come in time? No, it cannot. Tempest gets absolutely torn apart by Hammerstorm. They were setting that up that whole time. I mean, Succubus was chilling here for a good 30 seconds plus, and it finally paid off. Now, Tempest does have another buyback, but remember, that will be his last buyback.
Yeah.
If they get him to use it right here.
And they didn't use any big cooldowns there other than an FTP, which that's probably the only time you could use it. I got to say, a great play by Swindlemelon's. Good idea, and it paid off in a huge way.
Yeah, Succubus hold is down. So, I mean, that's decent, of course, but that's what was needed to get the kill. So
yeah.
Here goes the tower. Vulnerability going to be used. Tempest not buying back just yet, at least. But again, remember, he has that Keeper the Force right in the background. Tempest will buy back now. Is he going to be able to get a good ultimate off? Hammerstorm, the Shrunken Head going off, and Sanitarius is up. And look at Noob G. Tries to tree grab away. There's a Soul's Blessing, though. And now Hammerstorm, he is committed. Tempest ultimate in the background. Going to get full duration. Hammerstorm still beating in damage with that cleave and the Bruise Strength. Silhouette's dropping, but no, he gets ported back, though. Ophelia ported him back just before he fell, and Ophelia will TP out as a result of that, too. Wow, they all stay alive. Holy crap, I cannot believe that.
That was such an amazing port. The Shrunken Head was down. It was getting down to the wire, but he would have fallen, and he goes back with, what, 200, 150 HP?
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing. What's the biggest thing? They baited the second buyout from Minuts. It's the second and final buyout, and they baited the ultimate to be used by Minuts as well. So Keeper the Forest ultimate, it's up in 60 seconds. The Tempest ultimate, that's up in 150 seconds. if they can start coordinating this push right when that Keeper of the Forest ultimate comes up, there's honestly, I'm sorry to say, but there's not that much that tdM can do. Despite this getting to the 42-minute mark, you would assume that this is like mid to late game, and this is when their lineup should start to take off. But with Tempest being down 2 buyouts and now has no ultimate for this fight, this is when Stay Green could really go for the win.
Droff, I'll say this much. I mean, we stress a lot, and for good reason. You know, it usually, the more hero kills you have, the more entertaining it tends to be. And for again, for the most part, I can agree with that. But honestly, I think this is one of those exception games where, sure, it's only 6 to 6 hero kills now, 42 minutes into the game. But we're seeing some of the best play, I think it's safe to say, we've seen in a long time. Just two very, very good teams in Stay Green and Trademark Esports playing at just top-tier level. So sure, the hero kills may not be there, but this is a damn entertaining game if you know anything about Heroes in Newerth, that's for sure. So, and just, on top of that, remember, guys, this is just game 1 of this series. So, again, tdM up 1-0 coming from the winner's bracket, but we're at the very least going to have at least one more game, if not multiple. So.
Yeah, I'm just impressed by both teams. I'm actually more impressed by Stay Green. I thought this would have fallen out of their hands quickly because of how long it took them to push that top lane and how it was unsuccessful for a long time. But they've really been pressing this issue, and Slick's farm still goes up.
Look at Succubus. Succubus was baiting something there. He kept on charging up the ramp like he was a boss, but no bite from tdM. They've been showing that this whole game. They're not going to take they're not going to take that obvious bait in a sense. They are going to play someone passive. There's a barrier auto, by the way, on Jerizai. Okay, so the top tower goes up. Here we go. Nestation coming in the wall out on a Hammerstorm right there. He is committed right now. Shotgun that goes off, though. There's a split up from Silhouette. In the meantime, Protective Charm was applied. Hammerstorm trying to find the target. The stun goes out, and there goes in. Sanitarius is up, healing him up a little bit. Everyone is still alive for both sides, but tdM does have the advantage now. They're going to start pushing them out. Entangle hits Ophelia. The bound die will drop, but they don't care about that. They want to kill Hammerstorm especially. He's going to get healed up. Can he actually maybe turn this around? Ophelia is still dead. She didn't buy back or anything like that. Hammerstorm will fall when it's all said and done. He does have his second and final buyback if he finds it necessary, but right now it's him and Ophelia dead. Kongor may be up shortly, actually, here for it, and that would be huge for tdM. Nymphora? No, I thought that was a port. That was just a sacrificial stone, actually.
Yeah.
Hanging around. But, okay, so tdM obviously winning that fight pretty well right there.
Yeah, well, this is starting to get scary. Demonic Breastplate now up onto Bear. Tempest has her Shrunken Head. Didn't have the ultimate in that fight. They still won it. But the Soul's Blessing coming out from Jerizai is doing so much work against Hammerstorm. And I don't think that they can purge it off. Also, another thing to note is that the Mesmerize happened up on the Tempest, and it slept him at the same time the Keeper of the Forest ultimate was used. I don't think that was a huge deal, but it didn't really apply anything to Tempest. And also with Empath just being in a Silhouette now at this late stage, or starting to get to that mid to late game stage, he's dishing out so much damage with Empath into him. And then having the physical damage immunity with the Soul's Blessing from Jerizai, this is when the tdM late game is starting to shine, I feel.
Yeah, I honestly forgot about Empath. But the fact that she's level 11, too, and she is here to support the Silhouette. Restoration Stone just picked up by Keeper. So here we go. Trademark Esports finally feeling comfortable with being the aggressors themselves. They are going to push this middle lane, start knocking on the door, perhaps. Portal Key picked up by Hammerstorm, actually. He did not buy back, by the way, so he still has that at least to be used. Empath going to be absolutely destroyed by Hammerstorm right there. That was basically 2 hits, and she was dead. What she was doing all the way over there, I think she was trying to get a ward of sight down, which she did, but that was a big sacrifice. The chase still continues. Oh, the root was almost about to go off from Keeper, but he canceled it at the last second. He was just out of range. Boo Boo's going to be mesmerized. They may be able to kill Boo Boo, actually, if they really want to, but... Oh, Nymphora ports in. Actually, Hammerstorm jumps in. No, the Shrunken Head goes off from Tempest right there as well as the Portal Key, and they will be fine. While it's also getting away, but here comes the pursuit now. Empath is dead for another 15 seconds. Is that the biggest deal in the world? I don't know. The top lane is being pushed in, though. Here we go, and in the middle tower now. So, SG, now they still have pretty much all their cooldowns. They don't have brute strength. That is kind of a big deal. And actually, Silhouette jumping in, but no, going to illusion and fall back. Now, Smitten was actually just used on the illusion right there. That's something else to keep in mind, by the way. That Smitten is 40% damage reduction on everything, wherever he uses it on. Ophelia off to the side. She's going to be entangled. They didn't commit to this. That root comes out for Keeper of the Forest. That's the first root, remember. Hammerstorm still no brute strength, though. Trying to run. Ophelia is dead. She buys back and heals, actually. But Succubus being locked out. There's a second root. Succubus is still alive. But no, she will finally fall. Keeper of the Forest trying to run away somehow. The Portal Key not going to happen. That Tabas ultimate going to pull him in. And he will fall. Look at Slicks in the meantime. He's going to take out the bottom tower. He's going to try to Portal Key away. 2 seconds. Oh, no, now it's 3 seconds. A reset, actually, is going to go off in time. Another tree grapple. No, he'll need to fight this. And I believe this will mean death for Slicks now. As a result of that, yes, it will. So we got the tower, but that was a big sacrifice.
He wasn't in for most of that fight, honestly. He spent a lot of time there at that tower instead, but Succubus just got annihilated right there. She put the sleep, and I believe she was ulting also onto Tempest there, if I'm not mistaken, but just wasn't doing anything, and just the support now coming out from the Hellborn side, and it is starting to get to that point. I mean, look at the experience is 20,000, but still SG has still been able to fight in these team fights because of how farm Slicks is, but it is starting to get to that turnover point. Now Kongor is up. That's going to go down in a matter of seconds. You have Boo Boo, who now has a Slayer as well on top of the Demonic. And it's just simply getting to that late game where tdM just shines with their heroes.
Yeah, as much as Hammerstorm has perhaps been impressive with his carry potential for this team, ultimately, it is becoming more and more evident that he ultimately is just all the damage here for this Legion team. It's other than him, they really got nothing. Whereas the Hellborn team, not only do they have just great team support as a whole, but you have Silhouette and of course Wild Soul especially too, who's really starting to put out plenty of damage himself. Well, there was a courier killed right there. Legion courier all the way over here gets killed. Not the biggest deal. I don't think there was anything on it, but they were scutting it out. But now you have a Token of Life on Silhouette. And speaking of damage, she is very close to finishing a Savage Mace here.
Yep.
On top of that level 3 shield breaker and the Null Stone. So, yeah, we may have kind of gone over that hump now in favor of tdM. It was a hell of a fight for State Green, but it might be just a little bit too much now. If anything, there's just one more go, really, you got to figure here before it is officially over. But we'll see. We'll see what they can make happen. They are going to group up and, if anything, go for a pick. But obviously that would be very difficult against tdM, they've been playing it smart and probably will continue to.
Yeah, and you don't have any vision up now. Like, you've been spending so much time just pushing. You don't need vision, really, when you're grouping up as 5 and trying to push the base. So they don't have any vision up. They couldn't go for coordinated Nymph gank if they wanted to even. And at the same time, you still have actually Zai's been doing this a lot. He's been putting Boo Boo up in the top lane, which has been pushing a lot because it does have the super creeps there. But he's actually pulling it away constantly, even though it does a lot of damage. Oh, he almost got Boo Boo attacked right there. And actually, it is a big deal if you're able to get the cooldown of Boo Boo out in these team fights because of how much he's doing in these team fights. But yeah, Silhouette is Savage Mace is now up. Token of Life, Empath inside of her. The Soul's Blessing making it all of Slicks' damage just completely nullified.
Yeah.
It's going to get just even more difficult for SG. But still, up to this point, I've been continually impressed how they've played this. It's been very fun to watch, and I totally agree with you. Even though we've had a very low count in kills, it doesn't just say how aggressive, honestly, both of these teams have been playing in the pushing phase.
Yeah. It ain't always about the kills. It is a lot of the time, let's be honest, but this game is definitely one of those exceptions where it's definitely entertaining despite the lack of hero kills. But Trademark Esports, obviously, again, that Token of Life, how much? Well, yeah, we still got plenty of time. So 5 minutes. Oh, boy, and a double damage rune just picked up. Woo! This is it for tdM, if any. Protector Charm is even immediately applied, but obviously, yeah, she is really good to go now. And Stay Green, as soon as they spot that, I don't know if they noticed it yet, they had any vision on that, but Silhouette with that double damage, it has another 25 seconds or so on it. That is scary. I feel they're having some fun with the stop cancel right there, but Noob G shows that, yeah, she's hitting pretty damn hard here. I don't know if she'll be able to use it, honestly, into the base. It might wear off, actually, before. In fact, it is. She actually pours to the top lane with her illusion, and she's going to clean up the top lane. So they really don't going to make the most of it, unfortunately, but
yeah,
it can be scary. Even without it, though, again, she's still very deadly.
Yeah, this was a huge push coming out top, and they don't want their base towers to get hurt. And at the same time, too, Keizu is using these animated trees for, I thought maybe to push up the lane, but just kind of chilling up here as they do fall, unfortunately. One small little animated tree running around here. He's pretty lonely, but he's going to look for a rune. He does find an Invis rune for his team. Oh, no, he couldn't find it. Oh, poor
as
little
he
desert
explodes
man.
into death. The brutal death for him, indeed. Yeah, he tried. Yeah. He tried. The Invis rune will stay, though. Didn't they change the name? These used to be called tablets, by the way, I believe. They finally changed the name of them recently. It's so crazy because no one called them tablets, let's be honest.
There he goes with the tablet of invisibility up to the top lane.
It's like, nope, this sounds weird. The top sacrificial shrine tower, it actually has taken some good damage. And obviously tdM's aware of that, and even more stress on why they want to make sure that they keep that top lane pushed back. So that's one of the few scary things right now for tdM. Slicks has another 3,300 gold saved up. Again, he's just finding farms somehow all over the place.
Still top farmer in the game.
Still top farmer. Granted, Silhouette has really caught up, but still is ahead of him when it comes down to it. Honestly, dare I say, Ralph, is this a rate where you say, you know what, let's just go Doombringer?
Sure, of course. I mean, at this rate, you're starting to get in the, I mean, if you haven't been already in the all-in state where we need to just go all-in with damage or what have you, I would think about it. I would think about selling perhaps the Whispering Helm and just going for just raw damage at this point. But, you know, that's Symbol of Rage is still a fantastic item.
True.
And he's very close to that. So
yeah, he definitely could upgrade to that as well, I guess. So probably will see that again. At this point, you know, saving up for a buyback in this case, it's like, even though he has the one left, it's probably not worth it. You really just need to make sure you have all the items that you can to face this Hellborn team right now. So it's I don't know if he's going to have it going into this fight, though. It is going to be close. But Silhouette is starting to push up now, and they're going to start breaking into the base a little bit. There's a Mesmerize applied, but Protective Charm goes up, and just like that, it is off. And she is
backdooring!
Oh, yeah, here we go. Hammerstorm with a brute strength. Look at the melee Rex dropping so quickly. No vulnerability just yet. Finally going to be used. Will he Portakey? No, he actually used the Portakey already. He activated the Striker. The Tempest Ultimate pulling him in, though. And there goes the Soul's Blessing on top of that, just in case. He finally comes down, but again, the Soul's Blessing. He wants to kill the melee Rex. He's not going to do it, though. Oh, that was it right there, in a sense, and all in. I mean, he can buy back, but is that really going to be the difference maker? And vulnerability will be down now for a little bit. So if he buys back and they try to do that again here on the next cooldown, they will get the melee racks. But you gotta love it from Stay Green. You're at a point where, hey, you got to do risk like that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very good idea. I feel like they maybe gone just a hair early there, because tdM wasn't exactly, you know, committed to this push, so to speak. But it's scary because look at Boo Boo hitting for 460 on that on that melee racks. Boop, boop, boop. That's like 6 attacks, and it's dead. So the mid racks are going to fall here, and there's nothing that Stay Green can do about it.
Yeah, Tempest is busy at the top lane, so he's, of course, not with the team, but he is just protecting the top lane from being pushed. Okay, so Hammerstorm does buy back. They know that they actually have a numbers advantage here, of course, without Tempest, but not going to be able to initiate. tdM already falling back themselves. They've bought several post-haste, by the way.
Yep.
Jeraziah has one. You have Silhouette, of course, with one. There's the Savage Mace finish on Wild Soul, by the way. Well, more specifically, Boo Boo. We do see a jump up here at the top lane. Silhouette chasing. Hammerstorm with us. A nice split up from Noob G, though. Destroying said Tempest joining in the party as well. Hammerstorm tabletted forward. If he gets caught, it is 100% over. There's no way they're coming back from that. He's going to start dropping. Silhouette jumps in. Another tablet forward. Galvanize activated. Heal Bomb not going to even connect. The wall kind of disorienting him a little bit. There's a tree grapple, and Silhouette will finish him off. I believe it is going to be over now. Nymphoria ports away. She will be fine. Succubus, not going to be the same story for her. Noob G is a champion of New Earth. And also, the Token of Life, by the way, is going to wear off right here. But again, with Hammerstorm dead for 60 seconds, do you really have it? Probably not. Cuber is going to push bottom, though. Well, they may actually get the melee racks here.
Yeah, I mean, Silhouette and Jeraziah, they could, but actually they're going to. They're going to get these melee racks. The Glyph is not watch this tower. Boo Boo is going to push just that much faster than you. They should know, too, that Hammerstorm doesn't have any buyouts. They can just go straight for the throne, honestly. They have 40 seconds of free reign. What is Keeper, Ophelia, and Nymphoria going to do? Like, nothing. They're actually going to go the safer route. I feel like they could just take the base. Take the entire base. Tempest in a little bit of trouble. The root used actually in the base. He uses his Shrunken Head. He's actually doing a lot of damage. He uses the Refresher. Is he going to get him? He actually gets ported back by Ophelia. Ophelia's going to port back herself, but the racks are all dead on the side of Stay Green. This is mega creeps now that you're fighting up against.
Look at the shrine, though.
We could see a port.
Yeah, of course. Seconds. You got to expect that. Okay, so we're going to have a pretty epic finish here. Coming out. Give me the force ports in. He does not ever. He has a Resto Stone if he wants to use it, but he's not going to. You look at the base. Hammerstorm is now up. Nymphoria can port 2 people, by the way.
Yep.
It looks like it is going to be Hammerstorm, and we'll see, again, when they eventually do it. This might not be the best time. Obviously, tdM, they are somewhat back, and they are defending their base here, so you don't necessarily want to do it right now.
Okay. KZ ported there, and they actually see them because of the ward that's placed, so they're ready. They're ready for this fight.
Yep, here we go. This is 100% it, no matter what. Succubus actually taking a lot of damage to the creeps right there. A little bit of oopsies. Silhouette jumps in. The Tempest ultimate pulling the 2-year-olds in, and then 4 Succubus. And they get annihilated. This port did not work. GG's called, and that will do it. Holy crap. What a game we had there. Going nearly an hour long, but Trademark Esports will take the game, thus giving them a 2-0 series lead now here in this best of 5. So, man, it was not easy, Ralph, at all for Trademark Esports right there. Stay Green, very impressive performance on their part. couldn't pull through, though, in the end.
It was very close. Well played by, honestly, both teams. They played it really, really well. It just simply got to the point where tdM were able to stall to the late game. And with the superior late game heroes that they just had ease in winning the game with the late game advantage. But, Stay Green Slicks continued to have the top farm in probably 95% of the entire game.
Yeah.
And that was very impressive in itself. And they pressed that issue, and they pressed it hard.
Yeah.
And they gave tdM a run for their money, that's for sure. And they looked damn good, with especially the pickoff that they had up top on a Tempest with an M4 port. It was like the only time we really got to see it in effect as far as ganking goes. They used it, of course, to try to push and backdoor on the bottom, but that was really, really crafty as well. But ultimately, tdM does come out on top, and that increases their lead now to 2-0, technically, in this best-of-5 series.
Yeah, so obviously what that really means is tdM, they need to win one more game now, and they are your Cycle 4 champions. Stay Green, they will need to win 3 games in a row to become the Cycle 4 champion. So it's going to be tough, but with that said, of course, we're going to take a quick break here. Just before, though, when we come back, not only are we going to have the next game, of course, but we will be announcing who won that contest, who's going to be joining us and everyone else and the teams and everything at the grand finals, which one of you at home perhaps tuning in. Stay tuned for that announcement coming up, as well as the next game. Stay Green taking on Trademark Esports. This is the grand finals here for Cycle number 4 Diamond. Stay tuned, guys.